Peace, y'all. I hope you can hear me. Let's see. Let's go, Mike. Mm, hello. Peace. How you doing? Can you hear me? If you can hear me, let me know. Okay, awesome. Good, good, good. Good evening. Thank you for joining me from the Talk of Tick. All right, let's get into this thing. All right, and talk about it the best way I know how. And just know that I may not answer as many questions as I typically do about this topic because I plan on sharing this beyond this point, like when people get their divinations, and then that way it could be something that they can watch quickly, especially those who ask me, "Does this mean I'm to initiate?" Especially if in a divination it says "Holy Fi is your pillar," or you're affiliated with this energy, and Ifa will always answer you, etc., etc. And there's something that needs to be said. When other people from other traditions ask me my opinion on initiation or any other aspect of Ifa, I will respectfully answer, "Peace, you all." However, take that with a grain of salt because they may be using it to talk to their people about whatever it is I said or spread it, et cetera, et cetera. Yet, I am taught, and I will always go by what I'm taught, to respect other people's opinions, other people's traditions, and what it is that they do. Whether I agree with it on a personal note or not, that's none of my business. That's not my job. That's not what I'm here to do. So I want to be clear for that. Okay, so let's get into this whole thing about, should I initiate? How do I know if I should initiate? And I'm going to speak on that aspect of it and not the process that I spoke about before. And I think some people get really agitated with me or in general because they think that I'm just answering the question in such a generalized way that it's sort of like, well, that's what I came here for. Or what's my destiny and why don't I see it clearly? Right. And they assume that their destiny will be told to them, this is what you're supposed to be doing. Hey, thanks, Rain. I got them at Essence Festival. I take groups to Essence, my other life. So let's get into it. Initiation itself. I think the term initiation has people a little turned off because they hear it and they don't typically hear it in Abrahamic practices. So let me give you what the definition of initiation is. It's the action of admitting someone into a secret or obscure society or group, typically with a ritual. And that's what they're calling it. However, being that I deal with Yoruba people all the time, I can tell you that that generalized definition and the way that it's used for them is not the same. Come on, my Yoruba people in the comments. So I want you to look at initiation as a process that you go through. It is not like initiating in Greek fraternities and sororities. It is not the same. There are some aspects of crossing the burning sands of like togetherness that you may see as being the same, but it is not the same as you just do a bunch of tasks, then here you go, you're initiated. And initiation does not give you the key to all priest and priesthood. And I know people like to use the name priest and priestess. Again, that's us perpetuating what we are used to hearing in the Western world being assimilated to what it is in the tradition itself. And I get it. But not everybody that gets initiated is supposed to be doing the job that I do. Not everybody that gets initiated, does that mean that now you have the keys to the kingdom and you good. It takes years to get to a point of understanding and going through things in your own life that you are tested in through and through. And in my case, if I constantly showed up and said that I always adhere by the directives, regardless of how difficult they are, I had a whole bunch of crazy stuff happen in my life, and I still managed to stick to my belief that I would be okay and that if I would show up, et cetera, et cetera. And it is because of that devotion and belief that it was like, hey, you need to transition on and do these things. Because one thing that I do and do for sure is follow a directive, period. And I have already explained to you all that that is not something that's always easy. It is not something at the time you don't always see what the benefit is and you're not going to get it. And you're like, I just don't understand. But after the time passes, you're like, "Ah, this makes so much sense." That's why I can speak to you about you will not be put in a predicament where something will hurt, harm yourself, or harm others. That's why I speak to you about that. So, initiation is not keys to the kingdom, okay? Initiation is keys to your soul. Does that make sense? Does that resonate with you? Because I talked to you very much about this being an individualized practice that becomes communal. You work on you, you fix you in some aspects, you do what's best for you, and then you can help save the world. You can help your neighbor, your friend, your whatever. Even when I talk to you about divinations, I say it will very much help you. And then somebody you may have just talked to on the street corner, they may be up in your divination because they had been praying for help. They were like, oh God, I need some help from somebody. I just such and such. And they don't even know that that help just came through you. Oh, energies are around because it's blurry. Come back to me, please. Come back. This is how I know. And I'm sitting by Ifa, Batala, and Egbe over there. So let me see if it unblurs itself. Tell me that it unblurred because energies. Thank you. I'm getting there. So I know. Come on, energies. You gotta let me teach people. I feel you. I'll drink some water. I got you. Listen, I'm sitting by all of them and can't touch near one of them right now. All right. Yeah, slowly but surely. I'm telling you. I got you. Okay. They said slow down. Cause look how they came out of nowhere. All right. So let me get back into what I was saying before they said, okay. They were like, all right, so I get it. I understand. And I understand that many of your angst, peace to everyone. I see you all. I saw you, Talia. I see everybody. Thank you very much. Peace. And thank you for dropping the infinity symbol. I understand how difficult it is to sometimes understand. Oh, by the way, those people who are watching this, if you are not subscribed, you can't comment. So that's why you're not able to write anything, but you're more than welcome to subscribe and then you can comment. Okay, so now back to what I'm saying. Since the energy said, when you're so used to having a practice that you are told pretty much what you need to do or these things need to be done in order for you to have the betterment of yourself, your soul, and salvation. But there are many people who go through that and they're like, I don't get it. Like, I'm doing all the things and it's not happening for me. And so when they come over here, they expect that same type of specific directives and they expect it to appeal to certain things. They're like, well, I don't know who that could be or what that is. Initiation aligns your soul with what you agreed to in heaven before you got here. This is why those of you who follow me on Instagram and you follow me on Facebook on my personal and my business page, probably more so my personal, you will note that my content that I share in my stories is all over the place. It's videos that not only entertain me and make me laugh, but also that educate you from different scientific and or faith-based practices that all align with the same type of message. Now, when you're told to initiate, because people think, wow, this is a secret society, it's hard to get into. And there are some people who don't practice this tradition that perpetuates that in their own traditions and or religions that they practice. They perpetuate that whole you need to hold on tight. But as I was saying on the talk of tick, if we continue to do that, we're not being great marketers, right, for our own practices. And therefore, we are losing some of the roots of what that tradition is. And that's why you have all of these different variants of the tradition itself, which teaches other things. That's why I'm very specific about saying that I'm teaching you the archaic version of what it is. And if that doesn't resonate with you, then find someone who teaches you the more modern version, right? If you go back, you'll look at some of the comments under my videos, you'll see people saying, "Oh, but it's actually this." And then I'm like, but I'm teaching archaic version. I'm meeting people where they are so that they understand, like I'm doing about this whole thing about if you should initiate and why it seems like I'm just being so general. And I'm saying, it's totally up to you whether you do it. We have done this so many times that when I give you that answer, if I was going to tell you the same damn thing. So I'm giving you the answer you're gonna get before I go back. I can go back. We can check all day. And Ifa's gonna say, sure. And it's never a direct yes or no. It's always a sure. If your Ori guided you here, or if you feel that that's something you want to do, sure you can. So everybody on here right now, you can listen to me right now, even if you have not gotten a divination. If your spirit says, I feel like I should be in this practice. And by the way, initiation does not mean you are less of a practitioner if you don't initiate, right? If you're somebody that follows, like not everybody wants to be a pastor, right? People just go to church, get the word, go home. You can very much do that here. But at some point, there are very few people who don't do that unless they're still on the fence and doing sort of both. They're like, I'm not ready to leave my faith because I'm scared. I don't want to be judged by my family, but I still want to do this. There are people who do that. But at some point, you will make a decision at what resonates with you. So when you ask me, and you want a straight line answer and you're like, well, some people, they're like, I'm hoping that it says that I'm supposed to, they're saying that in their spirit. I could tell by when they were like, well, it sort of says so and so, so I guess I don't have to such and such. You don't need Ifa to tell you to do something that your soul has already told you to do. You don't need Ifa to tell you something that your Ori has already guided you to do. You have this angst, this joy, and this happiness because that's what you want to do. And your initiation, again, is individualized. It is individualized to align you better with your path. And I've already explained that doesn't mean you're not going to have some hiccups in the road, right? It means it'll set the precedent for your life. You will have finalities. For instance, you can't eat this. You can't do this. That's a final. That's not a after the elbow. This is final in your life. And the reason is for you to have a long life, to you for you to have successful ventures that you do in your life and successful lessons, and for you to not have to worry about some of the external forces that have to do with your health, your longevity, and your mental space and capacity. So you will be told to refrain from some things. Some people get lucky. They don't have to stop eating ice cream. You know what I'm saying? You're like, why does it have to be a food? But I give you that because you have to be ready for when that comes up, when something comes up that's going to be taken away from you, that you're okay with that in your spirit and know that it is done for a reason. It is done to help you. It's not done to like push you. And if you come up with more, let's say, energies that you're supposed to receive, right? You may be instructed to receive Ajay, such as Vivian. You may be instructed to receive Obatala or Ifa himself. In that instruction, that doesn't mean you need to do it today, boo. You don't have to do it today. Take your time. It may take you 2 years. It may take you 3, 4, 5 years. Just know you know where you can come and get it done when it's time to get it done. Don't hurry, right? Do it on your own time because, again, you will not be put in a predicament that will stress you where you can't get something done. It's not to happen that way. And those of you who do make it a little tight and you like, oh, I'm going to do it anyway and see what happens, they have found and reaped the benefits of it afterwards, of the money coming to them some kind of way or being replenished, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. So, and I've had people take out loans, I've had them do it. I'm like, okay, that's up to you, but you're never gonna have me be like, hurry up, get this done. And if y'all notice now, it even takes me a minute to get you the price because it's not about the money. The money is for the resources and the time. It's not about the money though. It's about, okay, can we get this done in an efficient manner for you? Can this fit within the schedule that we have? Is this something you really need to hurry up and do right now? So take your time. Do it as you need to do it. Okay? And don't rush. So when I get, should I initiate? And you're super eager and you're like, yes, this means I get to be an Ianafa or a Babala or some. I'm be like, no, you're not ready because your angst is not for the right reason. With this initiation, there are many people who are Yanafas and Babalaos who won't even call themselves that after initiation. They still consider themselves an Awo. You were always an Awo, right? They still consider themselves that because they are learning. And it takes years to learn and to get to a point where you feel comfortable doing stuff. So it is just one of those things that you just need to pay attention to and that you need to be led by yourself. And if you're happy and you feel like this is home and that's what you want to do, then do it. And don't let other people's practices or other variants of this practice detour you into thinking that there are other obstacles you need to go through. You will learn what you need to learn as you do it. You are not going to know all the things before you do it. Not everybody that takes over a church knows the Bible like they say they do. Not everybody. If they did, they wouldn't be preaching from the same chapters that everybody's been doing for decades. Think about that for a second. Not everybody knows everything where they can repeat, regurgitate, and do all the things. You learn as you live. This is an individual practice that becomes communal. Okay? That's what it is. That's what it will continue to be. So take your time. Should you initiate? How do you know? Because you guided yourself to here. Because your Ori, your higher self said, this is what's home. Because your heart tells you so. It's your heart place. You're like, I know I need to initiate. And then in that process, when you want to know all the other energies or who will you be under, it's done in that process. You will know, be done. You'll have your Odu, the scripture for your entire life, and you'll know what to adhere to. You'll know what to look out for. You'll know what to be mindful for, and you'll know how to take care of yourself. That's it. All the things, your consistency, everything else that I have you learn with other energies that you work with, it is all so that you will be able to take care and do the things that you need to do for yourself. Yes, you can bring people up. Not everybody's meant to go with you at the same time. Take your time. You will get there when you need to get there, and it will be the right time for you. Okay? So I'm going to go through and look at questions for a little bit because I didn't want to keep this long since I'm going to be sending it to people. And don't take my shortness when I respond to you as attitude. I've just been here, I've been through it. And rather than give you fluff, because I could BS you all day, take you around the bend, fluff you up, and then slam dunk it. I could tell everybody, yes, you need to do that. Yes, you need to do that. And then seem like I'm straight up money hungry, or that we, my IFA family, straight up money hungry, and we are not. It's about education. When it get here, get here. If you don't get here, don't get here. And I know y'all get annoyed because you're like, well, can you give me a straight answer? No, if I was not even gonna give you a straight answer. If I will say every time, totally up to you. Up to you. And in happy news, now that we finished that, the one person that is the reason why people who want to initiate or don't want to initiate, is that right? People who want to go on the trip but don't want to initiate can go on the trip. She got her divination. Took her what, 2 years of knowing me? 2 years. She got her divination. How about that? She waited like y'all. Okay. And got her divination done. And I told her I was gonna tell y'all that she finally got it done. And she's the reason why people who aren't initiating can go on the trip. How about that? Okay. Happy days. So I will answer a few questions as it pertains to this topic. Outside of this topic, I'm not going to answer it only because I need to send this out to other people and I need to stay on task. Okay. So let's see. Are there any questions as it pertains to whether you should initiate or not, or have I done a good job of explaining this? And those people who came in late, go back and watch the replay. and let me and let me see. So I'm going to answer again. I'm going to answer questions as it pertains to initiation. Anything outside of that or how you should know that you should initiate, I will not be answering. You have my email, send me an email and then we'll talk about that there. But because I'm respectfully sending this out to people who need to have this within their divination that they receive, that's what I will speak on. No worries, higher vibrations. When you go to the beginning, you'll see it. Peace, Jay. Good to see you. Lashika, I don't have many words. I don't have any words. Is it Kareen? And if it's Kareen or Karen, I know the last name for sure, but I want to make sure I'm saying it right at the beginning. Thank you very much. Talia, thank you. That's great. All right. Yeah, because I know you are by your last name, but it's the first spelling for me that has me messed up. So, all right. That's awesome. Rain, that's awesome. That's a hard thing to do, and it takes a strong person. But I'm telling you, nothing will ever be done to hurt, harm people involved. So there's that. Well, I think we're good then. Now, I'm going to jump back over on the talk of tick so that we can have all the shenanigan questions and stuff there. And then we'll be done. And thank you all for joining. And thank you all who gave the likes. I really appreciate y'all and we appreciate y'all. Rain, that's awesome. And Lashika, because they love you so much. That's why they would do it. All right, you guys. Ooh, the energy say it's time to go. So we're gonna end on this blurriness because they're ready for me to hop on over. So I'm going back to the talk of tick. Yeah, I see. Oh, Jackson's about to fuss. She's like, there's X amount of people, and I only have X amount of likes. She can't believe that that's the deal. And the energies are definitely blurring up my camera, which doesn't happen often. So I know I need to hurry up and hop on the talk of tick because apparently there's something I need to address. All right. So thank you all for the likes again. Appreciate you so much. I'm going to see you over there on the talk and tick again. Thanks for jumping back and forth with me. We will go on and live our best life answering questions there. And for those of you all who are watching this video because you received a divination and or you were on your own journey, trust yourself, be well with yourself, and do what is best for you. Till next time, you all. Peace. Peace. See you later.